Hello and welcome to the Hungry Housewife's first video. Now, last week I attempted to do a video with my husband filming me. However, I couldn't keep a straight face and I couldn't take myself seriously, and therefore I couldn't think what I was doing, so I messed up my own recipe about 3 times. Therefore, I have decided just to do it like this. I'm going to show you the ingredients, I'm going to show you me cooking it, and I'm going to show you the final result. Until at least I build up a wee bit more confidence, or I can stop laughing at myself. Now, I'm going to do pancakes today, and this is every ingredient that I use. Porridge oats for your hex B, 40 grams of those. I always use this wee salter scale to measure those out. I use sweetener, I use syrup. Right now, what one's this? Caramel creme cheesecake. So I've got the s'mores one, I've got the donut one, I've got loads of these. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter what one you use. I just pick up the first one that comes. 2 eggs. I use a teaspoon of baking powder, and I use 4 tablespoons of phage. With the sweetener, I put in 2 tablespoons of that. And I also always use these little measuring spoons because my tablespoons and actual tablespoon measures are very, very different. I would have like 4 tablespoons for one of these, so I always use the measuring spoons. Now, a wee trick that I've used over the past few months, making these pancakes and trying different ways, different ingredients, different recipes, is this wee thing, a 1 egg pan. It just makes them all neater, it makes them all kind of the same size. I also find it helps with the fluffiness of them. So I am going to now mix up the ingredients, and then I'll show you me cooking some pancakes. So the first thing that I do is I measure out the porridge oats. Now you can use any plain porridge oats. I just usually use these Scots ones. And I measure out 40 grams of those, because those are your healthy extra B on Slimming World. So I'm just going to measure out 40 grams of those. I need to go slow at this bit because I always put in too much and then I get spilled them everywhere. Ah, damn it. 42. So what I'll do is put a wee bit much in, so I'll just spin that out until I get the right measurement. There we go, 40. Straight back in there. So with these oats, what you need to do is you need to blitz them to a fine powder. So what I do is I just put them in the NutriBullet. Now, before I had the NutriBullet, I just used a wee £5 hand mixer from Asda, and it worked a treat, so don't feel like you need a NutriBullet for this. And we just blitz it for a few seconds into a fine powder so that it's kind of like the flour in your recipe. So now we've got our 40 grams of porridge oats blitz. I'm now going to add 2 eggs into that. Now I use medium to large eggs. I suppose it's really up to yourself what you use. This is just my recipe. So 2 medium to large eggs in there. And then I add 2 tablespoons of sweetener. Again, you can use any sweetener you like. I think I got this one because it was an offer. So 2 tablespoons of that in there. I then put a teaspoon in of baking powder. Now, some people do sin baking powder on Slimming World. I don't tend to, and I never have. It's never affected my losses, but that really is up to you. That's just a personal choice for me. Next in, I'm putting some of this skinny syrup, and I really just put a kind of a glug of that, and I don't measure it, to be honest. I suppose maybe like half a shot. That's how I deal in measurements, alcohol. And then next I am going to put in my fat-free Greek yogurt. Now I use phage. Aldi also does like a same style version of phage. I can't remember what it's called. It's like, it looks the same and it tastes the same. I do prefer phage to normal style Greek yogurts you get out of Tesco and Asda because it's much thicker and creamier, and I do think it works much better. So that is the one thing I would say to you. If you're going to make this recipe, don't go for a kind of a runny Greek yogurt. I would go for the phage, or the one that Aldi sells is exact same. So I go in and I do kind of a hope for heaped kind of a teaspoons of that, if you can see that. And we just fire it in. 1, 2, 3, too much. 4. Now that I've got all that in there, I've got my porridge oats, I've got my eggs, I've got my sweetener, I've got my baking powder, I've got my syrup, and I've got my fage. Now, I'm not going to put that back on the NutriBullet, and I'm not going to use a mixture, because if I do, I find that it maybe makes it a bit too, how do you put it, too thin a mixture, and you want to keep the mixture quite full. And you also, with the baking powder on it, you don't want to blitz it away to nothing. So all I do now is stir with a spoon. So I just give it a big stir. Make sure you're getting all those porridge oats off the side and off the bottom. And I kind of a spoon it as I go. Now you'll notice that it does go quite thick to begin with. It doesn't go like a normal kind of a wet runny mixture. It goes quite thick, I suppose like a batter. So that's the kind of a consistency you're looking for there. You getting that? And the best advice and wee trick that I can tell you now is leave this for the next 20 minutes. Let the ingredients do their magic, let them work themselves together, and while you're doing that you can get your toppings ready for your pancake, whatever it is you're going to do, if that's fruit or chocolate. But my advice is don't use this straight away, leave it for 20 minutes, half an hour even if you can. The longer you leave it, the fluffier your pancakes will be. Right, so we've waited about 20 minutes, half an hour, and you can see the mixture gets, I suppose gloopy might be the only word for it. It goes so much thicker, like the mixture, than what it would be if I'd just mixed it in the NutriBullet or something. So I have got my wee one pan on here on the front right burner. Now I saw the thing on Facebook this week about everybody's got a favourite burner. Mine is of course the front left, because that's the only burner there is that would be your favourite, and if it isn't, you're weird. However, this wee pan will not do well on one of the big burners, so I've just got it there. Frylight, I'll be honest, I use any flavour because I don't actually think the flavours work in Frylight. I wouldn't use garlic I suppose, but coconut oil, sunflower oil, butter one, they all work. So I put that on, and I actually put it up to kind of a medium heat on there, just to really heat it up in the pan before I put this in. And then I just keep kind of a mixing this, just making sure that gloopy mixture is okay. And I just let this keep heating up in here with your Frylight. And then what I do is I spoon in some of the mixture. So you can see how thick that is, it doesn't really run. 2 tablespoons for one pancake. And then I kind of flatten out a wee bit to the edges. And then I am going to leave that, not touch it, not do anything with it, until bubbles start appearing on here, just like a normal pancake would. You'll start seeing bubbles forming, and it's at that point I know that it's time to turn it. So you can see that the bubbles are starting to appear on this now, so I would say that's about ready to flip. Now I use this wee kind of a thinner spatula. Oh, I see that's just got to pull off there nicely. So I kind of loosen it first to the back of the spatula, and then I lift it and flip it over, like so. And then with this side, I maybe just leave another wee second or so. Apologies for my dirty cooker, I thought I had cleaned that, but obviously not. So you can see, you can use them in a wee bit there, that it actually starts to kind of puff up in the pan a wee bit, but just leave that, don't worry about that. It smells amazing. And we'll just let that cook away, not for too long, and as you can see I've still got it in quite a medium heat. A lot of people turn their heat right down when they're cooking pancakes. I don't know why, I don't know if it helps, but it's just the way I do it. So I like to have a wee peek just to see how it's doing. See, that's coming along nicely. So just another wee maybe 10 seconds or so, and then I will put that onto the plate and I'll do the rest of them. Now out of that pancake mixture, if you do it the way where you leave it to thicken up, you will maybe get about, how many out of it? Sorry, you've seen it, there's a pancake there. Just put that on to there, and that's how it's got our first pancake. Can you put it down a wee bit, Jamie, just so we see, you can see the consistency of it. There we go, so that's pancake number 1. So out of this mixture here, I think we'll probably maybe get 4 or 5 pancakes. If you do blitz it up to a total mixture and make the wee thin pancakes that I used to do, you could probably get 6 or 7 out of them, but I much prefer these big fluffy ones because they are so nice. Right, so I'm going in for my second pancake now. Now you will have noticed I've not put any more fry light in the pan, just because it kind of marks the pancakes, it makes them look funny, and I only feel like you need it in like maybe 1 in every 2 pancakes, because this wee pan is non-stick. It's a wee Tefal one. Where did we get that, Jamie? Dunelm, TK Maxx, somewhere like that. I think it was maybe about £8. It was Dunelm in fact, but where did I see them the other day? I saw them in Aldi, so they're worth getting, and it's non-stick, so the pancake cooks fine in it without the fry light. Maybe just every 2 pancakes I'll give it a wee spray, but that's how it works just now. I'm just going to wait for my wee bubbles and flip it. So this is our second pancake. You can see our bubbles are starting to appear, so just the same again, I loosen it with the back of the spatula, just like that, and then I get it under the spatula and flip, and that is a wee perfect pancake. Now to do the rest of them. So we're on our last pancake now, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is actually the 5th pancake out of the mixture. It gets a wee bit runnier as you go to the bottom, and you want to get everything out of there, so I use this wee silicone spatula, which is amazing to get stuff out, because it's actually XP, you don't want to be losing any of that, so get it all in there as much as you possibly can, scrape it out. My husband will be looking at this right now in torture because he knows that I never scrape out enough. He's got his own methods, but he's a cameraman for now. There's a wee bit of yogurt there, that doesn't matter because when we flip it that'll just get cooked away, and we'll just wait for our bubbles to appear. Now, as I said, that makes 5 out of this, so I'd say maybe between 4 and 5 pancakes you're looking to get out of that mixture. Today I am going to top mine with more fage and some fruit and a wee bit of syrup, just because I'm not really in the mood for chocolate. Shock horror, it's not like me at all. And that'll only be 2.5 cents for the syrup. The fage and the fruit will be free, and I'll get a wee bit of speed on there as well. Now I know a lot of you have been asking how to make the mint pancakes and the millionaire shortcake pancakes, so it's just all the same recipe, and my next few videos will be showing you those different toppings and how you can get the most out of them for the least amount of cents. Now we can see that these wee holes are starting to appear, so I'm going to see how that's looking. Maybe still a wee bit wet around the edges. I'll give it another wee second. If it kind of spills out towards the edge, just give it another wee second. I find this wee spatula great because it's nice and thin. I don't actually think it's a spatula, it's probably a fish slice, isn't it? I don't know, I don't eat fish. It is a fish slice, I'm being told. Right, okay, so that's still quite watery, so see when you stick it, just let it go like that, and then scrape the bits round the side and round that side as well, and they'll just cook into it nicely. And then you're really just waiting on it puffing up and cooking the rest for you. The last one had to do that, didn't it? Typical. But no, these pancakes they've turned out pretty perfect, and honestly I find this recipe foolproof, so if you follow it you cannot go wrong. Even my husband can follow it, and he, by his own admission, is not the best chef, but even he can make these pancakes. So I'm just going to put them onto the plate now. I can't even get under that side. Here we are. Put the heat off, and I'll put my toppings on. So Jamie, just if you do that, so I'm just going to put some fage on. I give it a wee stir before I put it on, and I'll just fire that on the top, nice and messy, because who really cares at this point what that's going to look like. And then with my fruit, I just sprinkle it on the top and let it fall down. Sprinkle some around the front, because you know I like a good photo of my foot. Oh, there's a blueberry on the floor. A wee bit more on the top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a wee squeeze of this syrup. You see what I'm doing here? So squeeze the syrup, and I'm going to bring it under this light, Jamie, just so you can see. And there we go. That is the pancakes.
So I hope you enjoy, I hope you follow the recipe. If you do, please tag me in any photos, or please let me know how you've got on, because I love to hear from you, and your support means the world. Thank you so much.